listening to Ring Chronicles with Lance Vaughn and Glenn Ritchie.
All right, so how was Backlash?
Great. Great.
Yeah.
But before we get into Backlash, so apparently we shouldn't talk about video games too much, should we?
Oh man, that was rough. I was watching the stats all week, and I'm like, nobody gives a shit about that last episode. By far the lowest viewed one we've had. It's just I really think that YouTube is just saturated with video game content.
So our sister podcast should not be about WWE games.
It would be. I think that would be a lot more difficult to get traction than what we're doing right now with wrestling. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just.
So should we talk about Backlash first, or should we talk about AEW first and save the best for last?
All right. We can start off with AEW. I don't think we've ever done that before.
It's because they're second-rate company.
Yeah. So, are you familiar with what's been happening with all the bullshit?
I know that there's some bullshit with Jack Perry, and like they, obviously they aired the CM Punk shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not up to date on the current bullshit.
Okay. So, Jack Perry returned.
Okay, no surprise.
He returned at the pay-per-view. He interfered in the tag match, and he helped the Bucks win the tag team title. Okay. Apparently, he's been going by the scapegoat character. Okay, so apparently he is embracing the CM Punk drama.
See,
and he's
why?
And he's just running with it. This is what I chalk it up to. So, for the past few months, the Young Bucks have been doing this EVP gimmick, and basically what they're doing is being what everybody thinks they are. So they're just being these douchebag EVPs,
and that's going to sell tickets.
And I don't know, but that's not what bothers me. I'm about to tell you what really bothers me in a second. Okay. So Jack Perry comes back, and I guess Jack Perry's part of the Elite now. Okay, so it's the Bucks and Jack Perry and Okada. Okay, now
wait. Jack Perry, the Bucks and Okada. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna leave Okada out of this because I want to.
Is that because you actually have respect for Okada, or you're just?
He doesn't fit in. I don't think he fits in with that group. Okay, here's the thing. Back when AEW first launched, one of their selling points was we're going to change the world. Okay, like before they had a show or anything. That's like one of the things they said, like at the press conference when they're like, "Hey, we're AEW now. This is a wrestling company, right?"
Okay.
They said we're going to change the world. Well, they've gone back to that. Okay, so.
I need to change my pants from the diarrhea this is giving me.
No, I'm not even to the worst part. I'm not that's okay. Here's the thing. So they, I can't remember. It was on Dynamite when they were in Jacksonville recently. The people that the Bucks beat down the other week was Tony Khan. I don't know if you saw Tony Khan was selling the neck injury at the NFL draft.
Yeah. And he was turning his head.
Yeah, he was turning his head.
Oh my God.
And he was smiling the whole time.
I don't have to watch AEW to see the crap. You know what I mean? The crap bleeds out.
Oh my God. I don't know. Did you see the whole spot where Jack Perry, where basically Tony Khan did the worst job of selling ever?
Yeah.
God damn. He took a gut shot and he sold it like he was knocked out, like he got hit in the head.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, I'm supposed to sell the gut," and then he curls up and like starts selling the stuff. It was bad. Oh, it was bad.
It was bad. It was so bad. Oh my God.
Yeah. And they said we're going to change the world. Here's what bothers me. A group of 5'8" wrestlers aren't convincing me of anything. Okay.
Yeah.
When Hogan, Hall, and Nash formed the NWO, you believe that they could take over wrestling.
Yeah.
They were physically big and they were big names.
Yeah.
I don't buy this from the Bucks and Jack Perry. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like they're trying to do is an NWO type of thing.
Oh, God.
That's what, God, I don't think I've ever talked bad about AEW like this, but that just pisses me off.
Okay.
It just
and somebody's going to come in, oh, you didn't watch AEW, so you can't comment on it. Well,
I watch the shit out of it.
Lance, you do, and you tell me about it, and I keep up to date about it, and sometimes I listen to Cornette. And, every once in a while, I do watch it. I've actually been a fan in attendance of an AEW Dynamite episode.
Yep.
So I am, I'm obviously, a little bit aware of it.
Yeah.
But what?
Okay. I'm going to continue, and this part gives me a little bit of hope. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Omega came back Wednesday.
Okay, that's not bad.
He had diverticulitis. Okay, real thing.
That's rough.
He actually had it, or he has it. And I believe what they've done is play it up. Smart thing to do. Take a real life situation and blend reality with fantasy. Right.
Right.
So he comes back. He cuts a promo where he's basically describing what happened to him and everything, what the doctors were telling him and all this. And then Okada comes out. Okay. And he tells Okada, give me 2 months and we'll settle this in the ring. Okay. Well, the Young Bucks and Jack Perry jump him. And then he starts wrestling. He's fine. He did like all his finishing moves and everything.
Okay.
So he's good to go. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they beat him up. And then they carried him out on a stretcher. And then they get to the back with the ambulance. And they beat upon him some more while he's on the stretcher. Okay.
Okay.
So I feel like they got a good feud going here with Omega. Okay.
Okay.
I like this because of Omega.
Anybody looks better when they're up against Omega.
Right. So now I had no idea he was ready to come back. I just been hearing he's in bad shape. It might be a while, but apparently he's good to go. Apparently they were just milking it. But if he wasn't okay, he wouldn't have done all those spots he did on Wednesday. So that made me feel a lot better about that angle. I assume Omega's going to be a big part of it because he was in the Elite. Before he left with his illness, he was feuding with the Bucks already. So they're just picking up where they left off. So when Omega came back, I'm like, okay, this might could be something decent if the Bucks and Jack Perry don't screw it up.
I got another question about AEW.
Okay.
I've been hearing wind of go away heat for Chris Jericho. Is that true?
I don't understand what the fuck Chris Jericho's doing. I haven't heard that, but I understand why that would be, because Chris Jericho is using yet another gimmick. In AEW, he has cycled through so many different gimmicks and stables. Right now, he is the learning tree.
Learning tree?
He is the learning tree, Chris Jericho.
What does that mean?
I'm not even sure how to explain it. I guess he's this veteran wrestler that has knowledge to share with younger wrestlers. And they're doing this thing with Big Bill to where Big Bill is asking him to teach him how to be a better wrestler. You just have to see it. It's not good.
Sounds like it.
Now before this, he went back to his Lionheart Chris Jericho gimmick.
What?
Yeah. He did the Lionheart thing for a few weeks, and now he's the learning tree. This isn't new with Chris.
I don't understand any of this.
This isn't new with Chris Jericho in AEW, because remember he was La Champion, okay, and then he was the Demo God,
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's gone through all these things, and he's even gone back to old gimmicks like what is it? The Painmaker. Painmaker. He did the Painmaker thing for a couple times. He went back to Lionheart, even using his White Zombie music. I don't understand what Chris Jericho is doing and why. I haven't been overly entertained by it. I can tell you that.
Okay. My thing is, it just seems okay. Maybe there's good reason for Chris Jericho's case, but it just seems like the AEW fans are the most fickle out of all of them. They will turn on somebody so quick. They turned on Cody.
Yeah.
They turned on CM Punk.
Yeah.
They're turning on Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can't succeed in their company because they will turn on you.
Yeah, that concerns me because I think there's some good things going on, and I feel like they're going to react to the fan response. If they don't like something, they'll do away with it instead of maybe sticking to it. I don't know. Honestly, the thing I'm most excited about is the women's division right now with Mercedes match coming up with Willow, and I hope. Okay, okay. Let me give you this scenario. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so at Double or Nothing, which is later this month, you got Willow Nightingale and Mercedes for the TBS championship. Okay.
Okay.
I expect Mercedes to win the belt at Double or Nothing.
That would make sense.
Yeah. We all know the history with Mercedes and Saraya.
Yes,
and the injury. I want Mercedes to win the belt and Saraya to come out and confront her after she wins and maybe beat her up and leave her in the ring at the end of the show. Then they got like 3 months to feud up until Wembley.
Okay.
That's what I want to see.
It would be good.
Yeah. That's one of the most exciting things to me. And plus, whatever Swerve's going to do.
I wonder how Saraya feels about working with Mercedes.
I don't know, but I hope they can put whatever feelings aside for money and draw. You know what I mean? And plus, Saraya is from the UK, right?
Yeah,
and they're going to be in Wembley. So
my thoughts on that is that I've always defended Mercedes on that situation. I've seen the tape.
Yeah.
Was it stiff? Yes. Do I think that Mercedes was being intentionally neglectful? I think what happened was, for whatever reason, Saraya wasn't prepared for the strike with the feet, and when you're not prepared for something, you don't brace yourself for it.
Yeah.
And that's why she got injured.
Right.
By stiff kicks with her feet. Do I think Mercedes meant to do it? No. Do I think she meant to be harmful? No. Do I think that she was being intentionally reckless? No. Was it an unfortunate injury? Yes.
Yeah.
Was it stiff? Yes. Do I think that Mercedes learned something? I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
It's just sad. I hate that it happened. I hope they can work out their. I mean, gosh. I mean, how many wrestlers have been injured by other wrestlers? I mean,
yeah. It happens. I mean, it happens. So
yeah.
Now speaking of the women's division, one bad thing, I don't know if you saw this. One thing I think hurts the women's division a little bit. Well, I can't get this picture to resize, but apparently Julia Hart just had shoulder surgery.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. So, that I think that hurts a little bit. Probably the best gimmick in women's wrestling right now. Honestly, my only concern right now is with AEW is the Young Bucks and their bullshit. But I hope Omega can save. I don't know if you saw recently, he was doing, I don't know if it was a thing on Twitch or something, but somebody asked him about being an EVP in AEW. And he said that he doesn't like being an EVP. He doesn't think he's a good EVP. He said he's just a wrestler. He just wants to be a wrestler, but he's just kind of in this spot. And I can't remember who said it. It might have been Eric Bischoff. It might have been Bubba Ray. I can't remember who said it, but they said that's probably the smartest thing that's come out publicly from AEW in a while.
Yeah, tell me about it. There are some things going on, like you said, in the women's division. That is interesting to me.
Yeah.
Not enough to start paying for conventional cable.
Right.
But it is interesting to me that's happening.
Yeah.
So I look forward to, more stuff that's going to take place.
Yeah.
So we'll just see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how things go in the future, and I don't know. Maybe I'll be watching AEW soon. Who knows? If they keep doing stuff in the women's division, it might. The women's wrestling in WWE got me into them again.
Right.
After
right.
taking some time off during the PG era. But,
yeah.
So maybe that's the same thing. And Mercedes was one of those people that got me into it. Actually, one of the matches that made me think, man, I really need to get back into watching wrestling was the Sasha Banks Bayley match.
Yeah.
In NXT.
The Iron Woman match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah. Now another thing is MJF's imminent return. So this came out when they did that big show in Boston. Big Business or whatever it was. Apparently MJF was there to meet with Tony and everybody about creative. Apparently that's what that meeting was about. Now, another thing that came out is that he's having shoulder issues, and it's not healing very well. Okay. Now I don't know if that's true or if they're pulling a Kenny Omega here.
Right.
But Double or Nothing is one of their big pay-per-views, and that'd be a good time for him to return. And it's in Vegas. When else would you return? I mean, so hopefully he's fine and he can return soon, because I think they really need him. Plus, I like to see MJF and Swerve.
Well, he's their biggest talent.
He's there, yeah, by far. And plus, when he comes back, he's going to resume his feud with Adam Cole, because they had the thing from where Adam Cole was the Mask or whatever you want to call it, the Devil, whatever it was.
Also, Swerve being their champion. I don't know if I've mentioned this on this podcast yet. Swerve being their champion is a great thing.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed I think it was a tweet from R-Truth about it. Did you see that?
I saw that. Yeah.
Big props to True Kofi for winning the WCW championship. And it's a picture of Swerve.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. True Kofi.
True Kofi, yeah.
WCW championship.
Oh, my God. Oh, that's great. Now, I love that they're acknowledging the other company. I mean, it's a joke, but it's, they acknowledge Swerve winning the title.
Well, I was wondering if R-Truth got in trouble for that or something. WWE don't like that stuff traditionally.
Well, I hope that's changing.
But maybe. He even mentioned what was it called? He didn't say Forbidden Door. Okay, I might have been fooled. I'm searching R-Truth's Twitter, and I cannot find the post. It might have been a fake.
Wow.
It says, shout out to my dog, True Kofi, for winning the WCW championship. Did you steal the keys to that prohibited entrance?
Prohibited entrance.
Yeah. But when I go to Twitter and I search his Twitter, the first post is a picture of R-Truth with a lampshade over his head saying, I tricked my dog, True Kofi. And Kofi's looking at him like he doesn't know what's going on. I mean, this is way back when he was a champion. He was the WWE champion.
Yeah.
So, hold on. There's more posts. I give up. I can't confirm that was an actual tweet from R-Truth.
Okay.
However, while I was looking for that, I did find comments that R-Truth made out of character.
Okay.
Congratulating Swerve for his championship victory.
Okay.
So either way, he acknowledged Swerve's victory.
Yeah.
Whether it be in character or not.
Right.
So that's great.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That prohibited entrance.
The prohibited. Did you find the keys for the prohibited entrance? That's great. That's great. I can say that so that they've been doing a long string of shows in Canada lately, and they've done very well up there with live attendance. Instead of doing the 2,000 to 3,000 that we all knew about, they were doing like 5,000, 6,000, 7,000.
Oh, that's good for them.
Yeah. So
Backlash. First match on Backlash.
Yeah.
The Bloodline, which was Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, with Paul Heyman defeated Kevin Owens and Randy Orton by pinfall in a street fight. Great match. Now, I don't want to sound like somebody that we know from AEW that loves blood so much that he wrote a manifesto.
Yeah.
A blood manifesto, if you will.
Yeah.
About blood in wrestling, named John Moxley. But my only gripe about that match was it was so violent. How did someone not get busted open?
Yep, I agree. And I've been seeing that a lot lately. The one match that comes to mind is WrestleMania, the Usos match, where there were like 37 super kicks and no blood.
Yeah.
That's not realistic. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to get on the John Moxley bandwagon. Okay? I understand he's bleeding less these days. But like there was this in my little small community area, there was this Moxley car sales, and I remember I sent y'all a text saying with a picture of Moxley car sales on the building. And I said I tried to buy a car here, but my head started busting, bleeding profusely, my forehead. It's he bleeds so much it's comical. He can't even take it seriously. It's ridiculous. But there's a kernel of truth in what he says. If wrestlers are getting 37 super kicks to the mouth, there should be some blood.
Right.
If I'm beating you to death with kendo sticks and chairs, there should be some kind of mark.
Right.
Somewhere.
Right.
Something. And so it does take away from the realism. I really wish that wrestling would go back to the old days when it came to this subject. Okay. In the old days, if we go back to like the NWA,
right?
Okay. There wasn't blood every single match back then, but in a big match, there was blood. Now, I kind of think sometimes they overdid it. I mean, if you go back to like, the some of those NWA Starrcade pay-per-views, there's just blood just staining the entire ring. I think that was a bit much. So, I'm not saying go completely back to the old days, but couldn't we like have just like a little bit of blood in a street fight, maybe a little bit of blood in a big main event when it's, a big feud? So that was my biggest gripe about that particular match. And then we saw Tonga's brother. Now, I don't know much about these guys, but I know who their dad is.
Right.
And if they've got anything that their dad had, these are some tough motherfuckers.
Right.
Okay. Like, Ming bit off people's noses and ears and shit. Okay. This was a guy that you didn't want to get into a fight with. Okay. So these guys have a lot to live up to. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have to convince me that you're half as tough as your dad was.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right. With that being said, what I've seen so far, especially with Tama, has been great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I buy it. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's partly because his dad, and I just assume that like he's inherited some inherent toughness. I mean, if you got 5% of the toughness that Ming had,
right,
Haku,
right,
you're a badass.
Yeah.
Okay. So I buy these guys.
Yeah.
Tama looks scary.
Right.
I mean, the guy looks like he would murder you.
Yeah.
So he's not as big as his dad was, but that doesn't necessarily matter.
Mm-hmm.
UFC has shown us that sometimes smaller guys can actually beat a bigger guy.
Yeah.
So I'm all for it. Let's see what happens with the bloodline. I was worried about the bloodline dying, but these guys are really breathing some life into that faction.
Right.
And it really needs it because, Roman's never there. Mm-hmm. Jimmy's gone. You do have Solo, but he can't carry it by himself. So these guys are great, and it's also giving some new guys a chance to get some attention to themselves. Like Solo's still new in my eyes, and these two guys are new, so that's great. Mm-hmm. I'm all for it. What are your thoughts about that match?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said. It just stood out to me. It just, it was just like the Usos match at WrestleMania. It just stood out to me. I'm like, there's just something missing here, and it's obvious what it is. It's too violent for it not to happen.
Right.
So it's just, I don't want to say it kind of overshadowed it, but it kind of did. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just, you expect somebody to be laying there on the mat with their forehead bleeding or something, wondering where they are, And
I know some people say, "Oh, well, we don't want to like transmit bloodborne pathogens."
Oh my God!
I mean, hell, fucking NWA back in the '80s, that was like in the middle of the AIDS crisis. They were bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
That didn't stop them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's address that particular issue.
Okay.
If you're concerned about that, I think that you should have a right as a wrestler to like maybe opt out of intentional blading in a match.
Right.
If you're that concerned about it.
Right.
But if both guys are okay with it, let them bleed.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, obviously Cody wanted to bleed when The Rock busted him open.
Right.
I mean, Cody's probably just sitting there just waiting, just just wringing his hands together like, man, when's the next time I'm going to bleed? Because he's old school.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Cody is just waiting to bleed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And The Rock probably was like, hey, man, you want to bleed? You want some color? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah. We talked about this in a previous episode where, sometimes it just makes sense and it adds to the story. It adds to the match, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But to have a match like that and not bleed, to me, it's kind of silly.
Yeah.
It's just silly, like, come on. I mean, if you're watching a movie, two guys are beating the shit out of each other and they're not bleeding, what are you going to think?
Yeah. I mean, I would even say it's okay to have fake blood in a certain situation.
Fine.
Although it's kind of obvious to me when they have fake blood.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, who was it that had fake blood recently that you could tell it was fake? Was it Kevin Owens? There was somebody. Dang it, I can't remember who it was, but there was somebody that they showed was bleeding, and it looked very fake to me.
Right.
So I don't know, but when Cody was bleeding with The Rock, you could tell that was very real.
Right.
Even though he obviously bladed himself.
Right.
But I mean, the blood was already pouring out of his head.
Yeah.
So it was real.
Yeah.
So I mean, You got guys like Cody that want to bleed. They're just itching to bleed.
Yeah.
Okay? Let them bleed. Yeah. They should have let Jon Moxley bleed when he was there.
Yeah.
Just not as much as he wanted to. Now, if somebody wants to bleed that much, it's too much.
Right.
Okay? Right. But, I mean, I'm not saying you got to go out there and bleed like Ric Flair or bleed like Jon Moxley or anything like that. But occasional blood is okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't get it. So, all right, next match. Bayley defeated Naomi and Tiffany Stratton by pinfall. I've already said that Tiffany Stratton's like the next Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
And Bayley. Mm-hmm. She's doing some good work too.
Yeah.
Naomi, she looked great.
Yeah.
She's probably very thankful after we heard that number of TNA only selling 500 buys of their pay-per-view. She's probably very thankful she's no longer there.
How long was she in TNA? It couldn't have been long.
Not long.
Okay.
I don't even know if she wrestled more than one match. I just know she was there.
Okay. All right.
So who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know that. I mean, I'm not one of the 500 that buy TNA.
Yeah, I don't get TNA. It's like TNA wants to be small. I don't get it. So I don't know.
Maybe they do. So Bayley's still champion. It was a great match. Damian Priest, the bisexual Undertaker.
Yeah.
Can you see it, Lance Moore?
Yes.
I mean, you look at his outfit. It's black and purple.
I would
with
even
like
say
sequin things on it.
Yeah, I would even say it's like late 90s bisexual Undertaker. Specifically.
Yeah. And, he has a little bit of, looks like makeup around his eyes, or maybe they're just naturally, shaded or something. I don't know, but like.
I think he does have eyeliner on.
Takes care of his hair.
Yeah.
He's the bisexual Undertaker. So, from what I read about this, he has no understanding or no idea why people are calling him the bisexual Undertaker.
Yeah.
And apparently, Rhea Ripley is like forwarding every single meme that she comes across about him being the bisexual Undertaker to him. Like she loves this stuff. He doesn't seem offended by the comments. He just doesn't understand it.
Right.
And I'm thinking, like, isn't it obvious, dude? Like, as soon as I heard the term referencing Damian as a bisexual Undertaker, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, that's it.
That's it? Yeah. That's what I've been thinking all along. I just didn't know the words for it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, he's tall like the Undertaker was. He's just, the Undertaker was very, very straight.
Yeah.
and Damian may be in real life, but appearance wise, he's not exactly the most straight coated person in the world.
Yeah.
So he's the bisexual Undertaker, and that's just what it is. But of course, we live in an age where it's way past the point of like homophobia.
Yeah.
But even if somebody was trying to be mean by saying that, it's a failed way to do it,
right?
Because you're comparing someone to the Undertaker. I mean, you could call him to anything, the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And you're calling him the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And if anything, being the bisexual Undertaker is a compliment because, he's got a little bit more style.
Yeah.
Than the Undertaker had.
Yeah.
Undertaker was a little rough around the edges.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was a Western mortician. I mean, he wasn't there to look good. Priest is a handsome guy. So, he pulls it off. The bisexual Undertaker. All right. I buy it. All that aside, he looked great with that World Heavyweight Championship.
Right.
I was just sitting there just thinking like, man, and of course I've seen him with the belt before, but I mean, to come out to the ring with it and do his entrance and he's got some new music or whatever.
Like it was fitting.
It looked, it was fitting.
Yeah.
And when he first won the belt, I was I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit skeptical. I'm like, how is this Damian Priest thing going to run?
Right.
And he's doing this whole thing of not wanting the, Finn and McDonough to be interfering in his match. So he's trying to I guess he's trying to rub off the stain of winning the belt in a heel kind of way. You know, obviously they're hinting at a face run for Damian Priest.
Okay.
Maybe possibly leaving the Judgment Day. This is what they're hinting to me, at least.
Right.
This is the way the story looks like it's going. And I'm all for it. Okay, the Judgment Day, although if the Judgment Day lost Priest, I mean, they've lost a lot.
Yeah.
So my only concern about losing Priest in the Judgment Day is you might kill the faction.
Yeah.
I mean, can Finn and Dom and McDonough and Rhea carry it by themselves? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But losing Priest would be a big blow to the faction.
Yeah.
Because to me, he's basically the leader of the faction.
Okay.
And he's replaced Finn at that point. I mean, of course, you know, the history of it, they had Edge and they lost Edge. And they thrived, actually, after losing Edge. So maybe they do need to lose Priest.
Okay.
And maybe Priest does need to take the route that Edge did and turn back to being face, or turn to being face. Because I don't know if on the main roster Priest has ever been a face or not. I know in NXT he was. I wasn't a big fan of Priest. Priest is really catching fire with me.
Right.
He's doing great. His stuff in the ring looks great. The match was a great match. I didn't even mention who he's fighting. I just said the bisexual Undertaker. He fought Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Okay. And they had a great match. Okay. I'm going to take a moment and just talk about the pay-per-view as a whole. Okay.
Okay.
Every match, with the exception of the tag match for the women, was great. This pay-per-view felt very Triple H-y. It felt like NXT with big names.
Right.
That's what it felt like to me. Okay. NXT with big names. Like old school NXT when it was great. That's what this pay-per-view felt like to me.
Is it because of the quality of the matches or the style of the wrestling or what was it?
The style of the wrestling, the quality of the matches. Okay, let me get into that. Okay. So, first of all, Triple H is never, unlike McMahon, Triple H is, you could tell he's a fan of Japanese wrestling. Okay, so and he's also a fan of indie wrestling. He'll never admit that, but you can tell with NXT, with all these indie guys, he would come in there doing indie shit. Yeah, okay, but doing it, but in a way that was polished with the WWE style. Yeah, like he took all the good stuff from the indies that was going on, and made it palatable to the WWE audiences. Okay. I mean, you ain't going out there wrestling blow-up dolls and stuff like that. Right. Okay. You're not...
invisible men.
Yeah, you're not fighting invisible men or invisible men fighting invisible men. Which I'm not going to lie, that was a good match.
That was fucking hilarious is what it was.
That was a good match. Go look it up on YouTube.
Yeah. I'm not going to buy that on a big show like WWE, but for indies... It's fucking great.
Yeah. It shouldn't happen on AEW either.
No.
But for the indies, it works.
Yeah.
What was it? The Invisible Man versus? I mean, like I don't remember who.
I don't remember who it was. But just look up Invisible Man match indies and you'll find it.
You'll find it. Okay. So Triple H, he's and AJ Styles is a good example. He's not traditional WWE style.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's absolutely Japanese style.
Yeah.
He's X Division TNA style.
Yes, X Division TNA. Absolutely. That's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah.
Cody Rhodes. He's a mixture of indie and Japan and traditional wrestling.
Traditional wrestling. I think it's majority traditional wrestling, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially now. I think that's what he's really aiming for.
Yeah, right now, yeah. Triple H is a fan of traditional wrestling. I mean...
Well, he's a Harley Race guy.
He's a Harley Race guy. Right. And that's a big insult to Vince McMahon. Yeah. Even though Harley Race did wrestle and become the king in the WWE, let's face it, Harley Race was an NWA guy.
Right.
Okay? So you got this guy, Triple H, who's like now has seized power of your company.
Yeah.
And he's a Harley Race guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he is, and when you could see Harley Race in Triple H.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just in there.
Mm-hmm.
And so
and JR would say that in every single one of his matches. Shades of the Great Harley Race.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. Yeah.
well, he was a student.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I'm skipping ahead, but like, Cody Rhodes doing the Bulldog.
Yeah.
People may not catch that. Okay. Let me tell you, I'm an old school fan.
Yeah.
Where that came from. That was his brother's finishing maneuver in early WCW days. Okay, was the Bulldog, and that might have been a Georgia component of that too, the Georgia Bulldog.
Yeah.
That's another thing we're going to get to. But let's don't skip too far ahead.
Yeah.
But anyways, it felt like NXT with good names, big names. It felt like Triple H booking. And people are like, oh, well, Vince McMahon would have had a big star fight Cody for his first match, his first title defense, a bigger style than AJ. Look, I'm glad that they had AJ in his first major title or televised defense of the belt. That was a great match, and I'm going to get into it. But like, if the WWE is going to focus more on the wrestling quality side, I'm all for that. I don't think they're going to lose sight of having major stars and having big stars and building up big stars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's WWE. They're going to continue to build big stars, okay?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to become AEW where it's, monkeys flipping and just, spot monkeys is what they call them.
Spot monkeys.
Yeah, spot monkeys, yeah. And just craziness that happens there. Okay, so there's that match. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defeated the Kabuki Warriors.
Yeah, I have an issue with this match.
Worst match on the card. And I hate that for Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Kairi Sane.
Yep, you're thinking what I'm thinking.
This is one of the few things that I would agree with Dave Meltzer. Okay, because he once said, he probably won't say it now because she's in the WWE. He once said that Kairi Sane was one of the top wrestlers in the world. Not top women wrestlers in the world, top wrestlers in the world. And I 100% agree with that. Kairi Sane is amazing. The WWE, aside from when she was at NXT, has not let her loose. Okay. In fact, even her NXT stuff is not the fullest potential of what she can do in the ring. Okay. They haven't given her an opportunity like they have with Io Sky. They have.
Yeah.
Okay. At least, especially when she was at NXT.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully, Triple H will give these wrestlers a bigger chance now that they're on the main brands. Okay. Asuka, one of the best wrestlers in the world. Okay. Bianca Belair, I'm not a fan of her gimmick and the hair and all that.
Yeah.
But one of the best wrestlers in the world. Okay.
Right.
I can't deny what she does in the ring. I'm not a fan of the gimmick and the hair and all that kind of stuff, but she's Charlotte Flair quality. Yeah. I mean, she can do strength maneuvers, she can do aerial stuff, she can do everything. It was very obvious that Bianca Belair and the Kabuki Warriors were having to carry the whole freaking match.
Yes, absolutely. God damn.
And I mentioned to the guy that likes Vince Russo, the only thing I can say about Jade is that she didn't embarrass herself.
I don't know. It looked kind of embarrassing to me. I think it was bad. Bad. There was one segment of that match that was terrible, and it was around the segment where there was confusion over the legal wrestler.
Yeah.
That's where Jade Cargill really shit the bed. It was in that segment. God damn. However, I will say that finisher at the end of the match she did look great, but it didn't I don't think she recovered from the fuck ups.
Well, to be fair, Kairi was the one making the pin as the illegal person.
Okay.
And
well, that's fine. That's not what I'm talking about exactly.
And I think there might have been like a communication error.
I think there was,
Kairi's, I don't know what Kairi's English is like, but the referee tried to tell her you're not legal.
Yeah.
And I think there was some confusion there.
Right.
Because she wound up tagging in Asuka, even though Asuka was already the legal person.
Yeah.
So there was some confusion there. I will put that on the Kabuki Warriors and the translation issues.
Yeah.
That was they're bad. Okay. But that was the only mistake they made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything else they carried.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some of Jade's stuff just didn't look polished.
No, not at all. Not even close.
It didn't look polished.
And what I noticed in this match is it looked like, now every time I've seen Jade, she had a very, very small role in each match she's been in. Like, she didn't do much in any of them. And this one, it looks like they gave her a bigger role. They gave her more ring time.
Yeah.
They gave her more wrestling time, and it just didn't look good.
Yeah.
It just didn't look good.
I think that they've bought into the look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, there's no denying the look. She's got that. We're good there. But
yeah, the look is amazing.
Yeah, we're good there, but I don't know, man.
And she already has a belt now.
Yeah. Now she
and
has
I called that shit too.
Yeah,
I called all these matches were very predictable.
Yeah,
you know, somebody that just won their belt at WrestleMania generally isn't going to lose it at the next pay per view.
Right.
But the women's tag belt gets passed around like a hot potato.
Okay.
So I wasn't surprised that the Kabuki Warriors lost to these two.
Right.
Especially with what they're trying to do with Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
And it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Makes me sick. It gives me diarrhea.
You could say she's being shoved down our throats.
She's being shoved down our throats.
Yeah.
I feel like this is late 2000s John Cena. You know,
Yeah.
It gives me diarrhea. That's what AEW is supposed to do, not the WWE.
Right.
With bloody stools.
God damn. But that match was to me it was an eyesore. It was a black eye on an otherwise good show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it would have been a perfect show without that.
Yeah.
It was a blemish. It was like a zit on someone's butt. I mean, no matter what, all you can do is look at it.
Yeah.
You can't get your eyes away from it. It's just there.
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I do not buy into the Jade Cargill hype.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, I think she... I forgot what I was about to say.
She stinks. She stinks. I'm sorry. She's not good. Maybe she'll get good, but she ain't got good.
It ain't there yet. It's not there yet.
I don't think she's capable of being good.
Okay.
That's I just don't think she has it in her. The only thing she can do is look good.
Yeah.
And as far as appearance wise, with her muscles.
Yeah.
But okay, let's compare the two partners, okay?
Okay.
So they put her with Bianca Belair, and I feel like they did that because there are some similarities between the two. But then again, there's also a big, massive gulf between the two. Okay. So what do they have in common?
Set.
They're very muscular black women.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So hopefully Bianca would be, I'm sure they're hoping that Bianca would be like a mentor. I mean, Bianca is one of the most accomplished wrestlers in women's wrestling today. She's extremely, despite my, lack of fandom for her gimmick, she's one of the most popular wrestlers today. I mean, she always gets a pop every time she comes out to the ring. But okay, so they're both strong, but Bianca can sell. That was another thing. She wasn't selling.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the scene where the Kabuki Warriors both had them in arm holds and arm submission holds or whatever? Bianca was selling it like she was getting killed.
Yeah.
And Jade was just laying there.
Yeah.
She was just laying there.
Yeah.
She wasn't selling.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe she was told not to sell, but
there ain't no way she was told that.
I mean,
I don't believe that.
It was a stinker. The match was a stinker because of Jade.
Yep.
And she wasn't selling. Bianca's, like I said, I don't like the gimmick, but she's great in the ring. She was selling the hold.
Yeah.
Okay. Bianca did the jump over the top rope to the outside maneuver. So You're not going to see Jade doing that.
Right.
You're not going to see Jade doing half of what Bianca was doing.
Right.
Bianca can take to the air. She can throw you around the ring, but she could do it very gracefully. All of her stuff looks good.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, putting them two together is bad because the only thing that Bianca's going to do is show up Jade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's no way in the world that Jade is ever going to look as good as Bianca as far as in the ring.
Right. Right. Yeah. This makes me want to go back and look at her matches in AEW because I don't remember them being this bad. I don't know if they just kept them really simple.
Probably kept them short.
Simple and short. And in AEW, she was presented as a dominant force that couldn't be beat. So the selling thing probably wasn't as necessary as it is now because they're not going to let her do that in WWE.
Yeah.
So, it makes me want to go back and look and see exactly what they did in AEW because I just don't remember it being that bad.
Well, here's the thing. She's on the big stage now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's not measuring up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This was a bad investment by WWE. So
yeah,
they should have left this one than stay in AEW.
Yeah.
she's indie quality wrestling.
Yeah.
On a massive stage now.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion.
Yep.
Not a fan of Jade Cargill.
Yep. Me either. Next
match. Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles.
Mm-hmm.
What a freaking good match.
Yeah. Yeah, we needed that after the match we just saw.
Yeah, it was a palate cleanser. My gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we might as well go ahead and confess our biases, Lance.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. We had two Georgia boys.
Wrestling in France. We're fancy now.
Yeah. They probably went over there and was like, hey, I want some sweet tea. And they're like, what? Sweet tea?
And some grits.
Yeah, some grits. Y'all ain't got no cornbread? Where's y'all's cornbread? I didn't ask for no cookie. I wanted a biscuit.
Can I get some catfish?
Do they even have catfish in Europe, the whole continent?
I don't know.
I have to call my girlfriend and ask her. Hey, do y'all have catfish?
Grits, cornbread, and sweet tea.
Yeah.
God damn
I know
it.
they don't have grits over there because my girlfriend ate it for the first time when she was over here.
All right, so we had a boy from Atlanta and a boy from Gainesville, Georgia.
Yeah, Gainesville, which is about as podunk as it can get.
Yeah. Wrestling in France.
Like
main eventing in
I wouldn't
France
be
even.
surprised if AJ grew up in a trailer park like me.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. Oh my God,
man. So they say Cody's from Atlanta. He's probably, if you know anything about Atlanta, it's divided up as crap. Okay, he's probably actually from a suburb of Atlanta.
Yeah. I want to say he's from around Marietta or something.
Yeah, most people that live in Atlanta don't actually live in Atlanta.
Yeah,
they live in a suburb.
Yeah, not like the proper city limits. It's usually a suburb.
And a lot of talent moved to Atlanta in the 90s in wrestling,
right?
Early 2000s because of WCW,
right?
We got WCW to thank for the legacy of having wrestlers from Georgia. Also, wrestling has got a big, long lineage of famous wrestlers from Georgia, as well as wrestlers who wrestled in Georgia that weren't from Georgia. Bret Hart wrestled in Georgia for a while.
Yeah.
And then you have people that, like I said, that moved here. Mm-hmm. So I claim Cody as being from Georgia.
Yeah.
But to me, AJ's more from Georgia.
More from Georgia, yeah.
You know what I mean?
By the way, I want to bring this up because this is one of the most hilarious moments I've ever seen in wrestling. But when AJ was in TNA, he was wrestling a match against somebody. I don't remember who it was. It doesn't matter. But he was doing like an abdominal stretch to somebody.
Yeah.
And he had the hold in, And he goes, from the mean streets of Gainesville, this is how we do it.
Oh, my God. Mean streets of Gainesville. Well, he had to have been like doing that tongue in cheek. There's no way he was serious. No way. It reminds me, I got to tell a story, okay? This is an indie story on my end. Lance. I've told you this story, but I got to say it again. Okay. It's a great, I'll tell this story the rest of my life. So I'm from Valdosta, Georgia, which is about the size of Gainesville, Georgia. Okay.
Yeah.
And I go to this little town called Homerville, Georgia. And Homerville,
which is where Barry Windham
lives,
Barry
Windham actually lives now. Ironically.
Yeah.
It's a swamp, okay?
It's a swamp.
It's a swamp, okay? And no offense to anybody from Homerville.
Yeah.
We're going to get some Homerville hate.
Yeah.
So
it's about 45 minutes from us east.
There was some confusion. The guy that owned the Indie Fed didn't think I could make it to the event for some reason, so he called somebody else to be the ring announcer. Like a substitute ring announcer or something.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know if I posted something on Facebook about being really busy with grad school and all that. But so anyways, this other guy's there. So I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do? Mm-hmm. So my wrestling friend who goes by the ring name of Pure Goodness, I said, hey, what if I just be your manager for this show?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I was already dressed nicely because I was going to be the ring announcer. So it made sense.
Yeah.
Well, this guy is just a big guy.
Yeah.
Okay. He's huge. If you ever see him, he's huge. And it's just crazy. So I come out first.
Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted to get some heat. So I went the cheap way. And I told him that I was from Valdosta, Georgia. A highly educated city. Okay. I might have said I was from a highly educated university.
Yeah.
Okay. To quote Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
Which was, Valdosta State University, which you probably have never heard of.
No.
Okay. So anyways, these folks from Homerville, that was enough. I mean, that was like going to my city and saying you're from New York City or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so these people were highly offended.
Yeah.
Okay. And very homophobic. They were telling when Pure Goodness came out, they were saying that we were gay for each other and all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And these were the kids.
Yeah.
These were like 5 and 6 year old kids saying this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, and the parents are encouraging this.
Yeah.
So
that's Homerville.
I've never had so much heat in my life. And then I took the Pure Goodness's foot and put it on the rope and alerted the referee.
Yes.
And man, I got called every slur in the book you can imagine. Okay, when it relates to sexual orientation, so it was just crazy, and all I could think of was like, man, these people are making themselves look the way that I was saying. They're backwooded people. I mean, so so I was just like, man, they're not making their argument look good. By how they're treating us.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a good show. I feel sorry for the enlightened people in Homerville. I know not everybody in Homerville is that way, but the people that showed up to that event were very much that way. So
did they just tell you not to come back or something?
No, but when I went to the parking lot, I had people staring at me like they were going to kill me or something or shoot me or something. Like I got in my car and I took off as quickly as I could get out of there. It was one of the most scared I've ever been in my life.
Oh man! Well, everybody's got a shotgun in their truck. So.
Yeah. So it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So I had to be careful if I had to drive through Homerville for a while after that. I didn't want nobody to remember me.
Yeah.
So two Georgia boys were. Main event in France.
It's France. Of all places.
It was a great match.
Yeah.
If it was in the Tokyo Dome and hosted by AEW or New Japan Pro Wrestling, it would have been 500 stars.
Yeah. Yep.
The match was perfect.
Well, I don't know. How many tope suicidas and 630s did it have?
Oh, no, it didn't have any of those.
Okay.
It only had a 450 splash.
Yeah, see, so even if it was in Tokyo, it still may not qualify.
Oh, okay. Okay, it might have only been 250 stars.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you get 100 for just being in Japan.
Right.
And if it's on the AEW card, you get 50.
Yeah.
If it's New Japan, you get 75.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Holy shit.
So, yeah, the match was great. There was only one botch, and there was a referee. She started counting before the shoulders were firmly on the mat. No big deal. Excusable.
Yeah.
Great match. Great match. Everything they did looked great. I mean, we needed that match after that stinker.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I just hate that match was a stinker because Bianca Belair and the Kabuki Warriors are doing the best they could. But, I mean, what can you do when you're dealing with that?
Yep.
So that's my thoughts on the Backlash.
Yeah, I mean, it was better than I thought considering it was, an in-your-house pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting much out of it.
Yeah, I remember for a while they used to call it WrestleMania Backlash. Like they were just trying to milk that WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they left it out this year.
Yeah, that was Backlash France, thankfully.
Okay.
Good move, WWE.
Yeah.
I know that Triple H listens to our podcast.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, he's a big fan.
He gives it multiple listens every week.
Yeah. He listens to our commentary and analysis of everything he does. He doesn't have bigger problems.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to listen to this and then fire Jade Cargill. I mean, that's just how it works. Oh my God. Yeah.
All right, Lance. Did you have anything else you want to talk about this week?
I don't think so. We ran a little longer than normal.
Yes, we did.
We got excited this week.
Yeah. Got pumped.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we'll end it there, and we'll see y'all next time. We're gonna do a new video next week, aren't we? On comedic wrestlers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we go,
Yeah.
I was glad that there was no LED screens around the ring at Backlash.
I did too.
That was refreshing.
or the barricade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. All right.
They
peace.
probably just didn't feel like shipping them over there, but whatever.
Yeah. The commercials on those things is more distracting than the prime bot on the ring.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Take it easy.
All right. Bye.